Yeah, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Jokmyrrh, and we're back with another reaction video. This time around, it's not going to be our typical music reaction. I just brought my guy on to talk about a little bit of music and what he does, and the benefit of what he does, and how we can all benefit from his work. So today we have on the show my guy. Welcome to my show.
Jokmyrrh.
What's your name? Tell my guys, tell my fans what you do.
Thank you so much. My name is Dr. Kene. A.K.A. the Ajebo scientist.
Ajebo scientist.
The Ajebo scientist.
That's tough.
I'm a medical laboratory scientist.
Okay, medical laboratory scientist.
Yes.
Wow. That's tough. So my guy, as a medical laboratory scientist, do you have time for music? Do you listen to music at all? Do you have like your go-to artist? So let me know what are your top 5 artists that you listen to?
My top 5 artists. Number 1, J.A.
J.
I
Cole.
love his rap.
Nice.
His music is very stimulating. Then
A.K.A. some Afro beat style.
All of Afrobeats.
Okay. Who else? We still have 3 more. Wheezy. Nice.
This is the good one. Then Bona.
Bona.
I love his music. Then I love Stormzy as well.
You love Stormzy. That's hard. Yeah. By your list that you just gave me now, you're a rap guy. You like rap.
I love rap.
Not just Afrobeat, rap.
Yeah.
Choosing J. Cole as your number 1 guy, you guys be rap guy. You guys be like a real rap guy. So my guy, as a medical scientist, what are your day-to-day activities like?
Well, my day-to-day activities: processing samples,
Okay.
analyzing biomedical specimens. Could be blood, it could be saliva, it could be urine, it could be stool, it could be human tissue, a human organ to analyze. So that's the thing. I'm involved in analytical thinking at my workplace. It does that, as well as even seminar presentations as well. You could be called on at any time to give seminar presentations.
That's nice. So what inspired you to become a medical laboratory scientist?
Right from my days in secondary school, I've always been inspired about discovering new things, even winning a Nobel Prize one day. Discovering new
in secondary
things.
school?
Yes.
How's
discovering new things,
Wow.
new drugs,
Wow.
finding cure. I was inspired
Wow.
things like that.
So it's been long. You've been on it for a long time.
Yeah.
So becoming a medical laboratory scientist, what are the most challenging parts of your training?
This challenging part of my training. Number 1, professionalism. How to act like a professional. Calm under pressure. Not allowing the patient to make decisions for you. Not allowing the patient to push you up. Then again, the training, our posting and practical, man, they were mind blowing. Even the exams, they were very tough exams.
I'm sure
even the way they mark the exams, you'll be shocked.
I'm sure these things you just said are the things you have to become a veteran on that field. Right. So, how did you know the career path that you chose is right? Okay. Do you have any experience that made you like super happy with yourself choosing to be a medical laboratory scientist? Have you had that moment where you felt like, yes, I'm on the right path?
Yes. During my NYSC days, the camp.
Okay.
What inspires me more is giving lectures, giving awareness.
Okay.
Brings out something in me when I try to teach people about the profession, the medical profession, public health. Bringing care to people, bringing awareness to people. I'm very inspired. It makes me happy. It gives me this fulfillment that I'm in this profession.
Nice.
As well as bumping into things, because as you're doing this profession, you're discovering things on the bench. As you're doing it, you're discovering new things.
Okay.
Yes. So when a moment like that comes, there's this rush of adrenaline. You feel good that you're doing this.
That's nice. That's nice. Let's not go too deep into before we get into behind the scenes of what happens in the lab. I would like to ask you this question about music. So, what's that one song you don't ever want to listen to again? You don't ever want to hear again? Do you have that song that you don't ever want to ever? You don't want nobody to play around you again?
Let me crack my head.
I mean, that's tough because there's a lot of good songs, there's a lot of bad songs, but
Yeah.
this is a tricky question. Let me know what's up.
Portable. Portable. I wouldn't want to listen to any of Portable music.
At all?
Nah.
I think Portable has some good songs. So, in my opinion, Portable has some good songs. But you know, maybe you just don't like the guy behind it.
Yeah.
So let's get back to behind the scenes in the lab. So what really happens to blood samples when they are taken?
Yeah. So they go through 3 stages.
Okay.
Once they're taken, they go through the first stage, which is the pre-analytical stage.
Okay.
Yeah. So some samples you run investigation using the whole blood as it is.
Okay.
Others you use serum, so you might have to spin it to get the supernatant in that blood.
Wow.
Yeah. So as well as cross-checking names, the age on the form with that of the blood sample, so as not to have any mismatch.
Wow.
Yeah. Then they have the analytical phase proper. This is when you're running the investigation proper.
Okay.
You're using very sophisticated machine and clinical thinking as well. As well as applying clinical and technical thinking. It's a lot. Being a laboratory scientist is a lot. Being a medical scientist is a lot. You are expected to do a lot.
Okay.
You're expected to be at your best.
So that's right. That's right. I know the little knowledge I have about the medical field. I know it takes a lot of concentration and it takes a lot of just being calm and know exactly what you're doing. So how accurate are the lab tests and what factors can affect results?
Yeah, this is a very important one. I love this question.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Number one, the equipment, the kind of equipment they're using.
Okay.
Yes. The quality control, they on internal quality control. You know, for you to have confidence in any laboratory result, there has to be an internal quality control. Yeah.
Okay.
There has to be an external quality assurance program you're running, whereby you get samples from other labs, outside lab that has run some certain investigation in that sample. They have their results. Then you run yours, then it's your own equipment they're doing, then you compare the results. It gives confidence when you're trying to release the results to patients.
Wow.
Yeah.
I get. So, what's the most interesting sample or case you've ever worked on?
Yeah. During my internship days at University of Ilorin Teaching Hospital.
Wow.
You know,
you did your internship in University of Ilorin Teaching Hospital?
Yeah.
Where did you actually school? I forget to ask you that.
I schooled at Nnamdi Azikiwe University.
Nnamdi Azikiwe University?
Yes, Oka, Anambra State.
Wow, and you did your internship in
Ilorin.
Wow. That must have been a lot of experience.
Yes.
So,
it was like a very big, bold step, you know.
Okay.
It takes a lot of courage for one to decide to move from a location like that to a location like not for training. Yeah.
So how do lab detect infections like malaria or COVID-19 or all these common diseases that we have around?
Yeah. So it's a very simple method. The principle behind it is it's immunology. You see, whenever this thing gets into your system also fights back, releases something called an antibody. Why a malaria or COVID-19 now can be called an antigen. For every antigen that enters your body, there is a complementary antibody. So now what scientists do now is that when someone is infected with that malaria, they draw the person's blood, extract that antibody that was able to fight against it. You get? And now use it as a form of detection form. That when you place a sample on top of it, it will release a kind of color. From that color, that is how we detect things like this.
Wow. Okay.
This is just a fragment of it. It's just a fragment. There are other methods, but the baseline is this principle I just gave you right now.
Okay. So what are the early warning signs in lab results that people should take more serious?
Yeah. What's C-reactive protein? Yes,
React-
C-reactive protein, CRP.
So,
There's some certain markers, cardiac risk markers, your lipids, total cholesterol, triglyceride, high density lipoprotein cholesterol, low density lipoprotein cholesterol. The lipid profile has to be in perfect shape in order to avoid inflammation, unnecessary inflammation, as well as your CRP. You have to be running routine lab tests every 2 months or every 3 months to be able to recognize patterns in results. Because whenever you do test today, it might not show you anything. You do next time and you see a slight increase. You do another time, you see a slight increase. You can be able to predict, you can now predict a reduction in function or a dysfunction in a particular organ. So that's that. I don't want to go into much detail. There's a lot.
yeah, I
It's
know
very
we
broad.
might not be able to speak on everything today.
Yeah.
But I just want people to have the basic knowledge of these questions we're asking. You can
course.
watch the video over and over again. This is the whole essence of making this type of video. For
Yeah,
us to not just talk about music and talk about music and talk about music. I want us to talk about stuff that are more educative, stuff that are like important to us. We cannot just be going and just be talking about jollifications without talking about things that will increase and give us knowledge.
Yeah.
So let's talk about ethics and challenges. So what are the biggest challenges you face in your job?
Yeah, legal battles.
Legal battles.
Legal battles.
In the lab science, you guys face legal battles.
Face legal battles. We get sued as well.
Yeah.
Imagine, yes, now.
I could relate.
Certainly, there's going to be errors.
Yeah.
If you're not good at what you do, you go give someone who is not HIV positive, you go give the person positive, you're going to sue you, man.
Yeah, fact.
And the person goes to another place to test and find out that it's not true.
And you put
You go
the person
see, you
through
go
that
pay.
type of trauma.
Yes, you go pay.
True.
Legal battles.
Yes. True.
Not releasing the patient results on time.
So that okay.
Legal battles.
No releasing
Patient results on time. Yeah, as well as accreditation issues. If a certain regulation body, like a FEMA, you have certain regulation bodies, a FEMA, to come and check me what you're doing in the lab. And you find out that you're not doing good, or there are certain operational practices, you get fined as well.
Wow.
You get fined. So it's a lot.
Wow.
You have to be at your game.
Wow. So how do you deal with stress in such a critical role?
Yeah. You know, my training, I've had a lot of training, so it has built a perseverance, resilience, and an ability to also handle pressure, to work under pressure.
Okay.
So I can hardly, I can't panic. There's no case I'm going to see now that's going to make me panic, or any display patient is going to do that's going to shake me. You can't. I've basically seen it all. Yeah, but then do I handle it? Sometimes I listen to music.
Music, right? Yeah, music works for everything.
Listen to music, yeah.
Music works for everything. So, how do you handle errors or unexpected results?
Unexpected results, okay? We troubleshoot. It's something called troubleshooting.
Yeah.
So we troubleshoot to try to know where the issue came from. Okay. It's pre-analytical. Like I said, like the other question you asked me, behind the scene, what do we do with the samples?
Yeah.
So I troubleshoot the pre-analytical method. What happened? Was the sample still good? Was it hemolyzed? Was there a delay in processing? So there are certain factors that can make a result erroneous or high, erroneous to the spirit. So after that, then analytical, whether my machine was in proper circumstance, whether did my control pass? I'll recalibrate. My calibration pass. A lot of things I'm going to check for me to know what's wrong.
Wow.
And it starts from the pre-analytical. That's all.
So on your field of work as a medical laboratory scientist, are there auxiliary medical scientists? You know, like in some hospitals, they use auxiliary nurse. You know, they are training. I know it's not as it should be. It's not the proper training, going to school and going through all the normal procedure to become a nurse or to become a doctor. These days, you find hospital where people just go for basic training, just spending time with doctors and nurses, and then they call them auxiliary nurse basically. So in your field of work, is there anything like that, where people just spend time in the lab for some certain period of time and then wake up tomorrow morning and call themselves medical laboratory scientists.
No. We don't have things like that. But then we have people, some certain professionals who are also under us. They work with us in the lab. They assist us in the lab. They're called technicians, medical laboratory technicians. They assist the scientists. They assist us. So we just have the technicians.
Okay.
Those kind of people, we call them the technicians.
Okay.
So that's all.
Okay. So the future, let's talk about the future and the advice you have for people. So what advancement in the lab science are you most excited about?
Yeah, one of the advancements is AI automation.
Wow, yeah.
AI automation, yeah. To be able to make working in the lab more easy. You know,
Okay.
with the invention of AI can handle complex tasks, can bring tasks together, you know, makes it easy and does it within time.
Yeah.
So that's my interest now. That's what I'm working on.
This answer both of my questions, because I was about to ask you how AI automation affect lab science, laboratory work, and that answers my question perfectly. So what advice will you give someone interested in this career?
Yeah, career advice I'm going to give the person is, as long as the person is just starting, get very grounded in your physics, your chemistry, and your bio, especially the practical.
Get grounded in physics, chemistry, biology.
Yeah, because if you're not grounded, you're gonna shake. When
your leg will shake. And there's only tell you, Yakub, manage.
When you're in year one, because you're in medical, there's the way they place you. So when when you start with practical, they don't come to teach you at practical. Yeah. They leave you there, they give you everything, you go and do it. No one's going to tell you, you go do it because you're expected to have done those things back in your secondary school. Like, bro, let's say they legit. They're going to look you like this. Give you time. They're going to teach you, they're going to drop everything, give you your manual.
Yeah.
Once the time is, bring your book. They don't care.
That's tough.
You're tested. You're going to be tested.
That's tough. So what should patients know before going for lab test?
Yeah.
Or lab work?
Yeah. One thing you're going to know is, the one, you need to find a very good and ISO accredited laboratory
service. Good, reliable, accredited
services.
Okay.
Yeah, or if you can reach out to me at the Ajebo scientist. You can also always reach out to me.
Okay. I'll put his number on the screen. You can reach if you need to get tested, if you need to check your body work, or you have more questions. You can direct your questions directly to him. I know there will be a lot of questions and a lot of people interested in this conversation. If you want me to bring the Ajebo scientist back on the show, please just let me know what's up. We're just trying to satisfy the fan, bring genuine content and solid content to you guys. So my last question before we round up and just vibe out of this serious conversation. If you could change one thing about the healthcare system, what would it be?
Okay, that was a very tough question. Okay, one thing I noticed about the healthcare system is standard healthcare system is not available to everyone. It's not accessible.
Accessible.
Yeah, it's not accessible to everyone. It's just accessible to the rich class, to the elite. People in rural areas can't get proper access to medical diagnostic equipment. So it's healthcare diagnostic accessibility. That's what I'm going to be changing. Accessible healthcare.
Wow, like I said earlier, if you want me to bring my guy back on, the Ajebo scientist, if you want me to bring him back on, if you have questions, I'll put his number, I'll put his social media handle where you can reach out to him on the screen. Make sure you reach out, make sure you comment, share, and like our videos. Thank you, my guy, for showing up.
Yeah, man.
I still have a lot of questions because of time. We're going to have to go off and cut it off here. I really appreciate you taking time to come and tell us about what you do and how you can really, really help us.
Thank you, Jokmyrrh.
Thank you, my guy.
Yeah,
Thank you, my guy.
The opportunity.
Peace out. Watch